Hi, I'm Chris Williams of Wilmot Grinders. I'd like to show you my new Little Buddy grinder. It's officially called the LB1000, but the LB is short for Little Buddy. Let's look at it. Alright, this is the LB1000. The LB1000 is a kit. You physically bolt it together yourself. You will not get it assembled in any way. You will have to physically put all the pieces together. It comes with instructions. There is no machining or tapping or any machine work that needs to be done or any metal work. You physically just bolt it together using a socket set and an Allen key. That's it. It bolts together in about 1 hour's time. There's 3 ways you can purchase this. You can purchase this with just a frame, with no wheels, that is, and no motor. That's one price. The other price is with the frame and all the wheels that you see here, and that's called the long block kit. And then the ready-to-roll kit is what you see here. It's everything you get that you see in this video. You'll get a motor, an 1800 RPM fixed speed motor, 5-inch rubber-coated drive wheel, and these PVC wheels along with the tool rest. So like I said, everything you see here for $9.99 shipped. $9.99 shipped. I've had a few people ask, Chris, why PVC wheels? Well, my goal was to always keep this an economical grinder, and so my target was under $1,000. Now my price point would have been higher than $1,000 using aluminum wheels. Now I sell aluminum wheels and I make them for my higher end grinder, but I didn't feel they were necessary for a beginner grinder. I currently have PVC and a rubber coated drive wheel on my Little Buddy grinder, and I've run it 1 day a week, about 4 hours a day, for over a year, and I've got hardly any wear on my wheels. So these are not as dense as aluminum, and they won't last as long as aluminum, but they will probably last a hobbyist for 4 to 5 years in my opinion, whereas aluminum would last a hobbyist significantly longer than that. So I will offer a version with aluminum wheels if you care to pay for it. I don't know how much more it's going to be. It's probably going to be approximately $100 more to get it with aluminum wheels, but we'll see. I still have to run my numbers. So that was one of the questions I got. The other question, another thing, this comes uncoated, okay? So there may be small rust spots. I slather the parts down with WD-40, so you're going to have a time getting all the WD-40 off and painting it if you choose to do that. Or just assemble it the way it is. It's totally up to you. And I've had a few people ask, why the second slot? That's a good question, and I want to show you that in a second. But first, let me show you the tracking. Alright, at this time my motors come pre-wired. I already put the switch and the power cord on it, but in the future I'm probably not going to do that. I just kind of don't have enough time. So it'll include the components you need to wire your own motor. But once you turn it on, this is how the tracking works. Okay, track's pretty good. Let me show you what this side looks like. Now I've had quite a few ask, why is there a second slot on this grinder? I actually designed the grinder to be modular, so it'll grow with you. I do not feel this option is necessary in the beginning, but when you're ready, this grinder can actually be converted to a horizontal grinder. All you do is loosen up with an included Allen key the 2 3/8 bolts. This actually slides back and forth with your wrist. You loosen the 2 bolts and it'll come off. One thing I didn't show you was the tool rest. The tool rest can be bolted underneath using 2 holes that are drilled in top or on top. So I made it modular. It can be converted, bolted down here or here. The reason why I did that was when you tilt this up, this will go quite a ways. You know, you may wish you had the top tool rest option, because you start tilting this up and you start the flat platen ends right here. This thing has the ability to move quite a large range. Obviously, if you decide to do it here, you're going to need to pull this thing back and tension the spring. All right, we'll make it vertical. Okay. This has a pneumatic gas shock and it's rated at 40 pounds. I say 40, but the tension of a gas shock is really irrelevant. It's all depends how much strength it's applying to the upper arm is dependent on how far away from the pivot point it is. So I could make a stronger or a weaker spring work depending on where I put it along here. The 40 pound seems to work fairly well right now. Let's talk about this second slot. So I got rid of the tool rest. When you're ready to step up and let the grinder expand, you can pick up a tool rest. This is a tool rest for my triple arm grinder, my higher end grinder. It will fit in here. You'll have to buy your own adjustable handle to lock it down. These are a whole $8 from Enco Tools or McMaster. I'm going to thread it in, and now I have a tool rest as long as I use a square. As long as I use the square, I can use it in the narrow mode, or I can actually pull the grinder forward, or I can use it narrow or wide. I can also adjust how low it is or how high it is. I can bolt it down, and then I can even adjust the tilt angle up to 45 degrees. You can't go past 45 degrees in vertical mode like this. Now we'll move it past 45. There we are. And tighten it down. And you can 45 something. What else will this tool wrist do? Well, if you go like this and just rotate it 90 degrees, you now have a horizontal grinder. Now you can go to any degree you want. I can go well past 45 now. So I can take this to 20. And I use this to do swedge work. I use this to do swedge work. So if I go like this, and I grab a knife, you can see I'll put a swedge on your knife at whatever angle this is. I normally shoot for 60 to 70 degrees. And hopefully you can see that. I just did it real fast. This was actually a knife I'd already done previously, but it was rusting real bad. So the silver shows where I did the swedge. You can also make this back to 0 degrees. And you can just do horizontal work. There we go. Tighten it down real tight. Anytime you adjust this, you always use a square to make sure it's 90. And it's a little bit off, so I'll use the weight of the 1, 2, 3 block. There, now. Let's go back to it. There we go, it's square. And then tighten it down. torque in terms of pneumatics. There's something else I'll do. I'll use this 2-inch wheel. Yes, it's a PVC wheel. No, it's not a rubber-coated contact wheel. But guess what? I still use it as a contact wheel. And I'll actually go like this. Here we are. A little too close. I just went all the way around all my radiuses, and it worked great like that. Now, this would be a whole lot better if this grinder were in horizontal mode. It's easy to do with some plywood, 3/4 plywood, and some door hinges. That's what I've done the first time I set this up. A friend came and purchased that flipping plate, so I can't show it to you, but I will put pictures on my website. A piece of plywood that goes to the end of the motor. It's cut off there, 2 door hinges, and another piece of plywood. You will want to have a ring going around in the motor. You want the motor, when it flops over, to sit on a ring that has a couple slots in it, because the motor has a fan. The bottom of all TFEC motors, TFEC stands for totally enclosed, fan cooled. They all have a motor here blowing air along the surface of the grinder. You do not want to inhibit this from taking air in. In this mode, the end isn't plugged, but if you just flop it onto its back, you could plug the fan from gathering air. So make sure you give this ability, put it on a riser of some sort. Give it the ability to breathe when it's in horizontal mode. That is my little buddy grinder. As I said, you don't need this tool rest in the beginning, in my opinion. It's one of those things you get later. If you use it a lot and you desire a horizontal grinder, know that this grinder can grow with you. How many other 2x72s out there can say that? Thanks so much for watching my video, and I appreciate you coming by my shop.